Right, we'll just check our audio and video settings there and, hopefully everything is up and running, as they say. So where the hell is my thingy here? So do we have audio? There we go. We have audio and video, my friends. So, welcome back to the channel, my friends. I hope everybody is doing well. So, bit of an impromptu stream today. Let me give you the background, as it were. A couple of nights ago, I was watching Mr. 82 Studio streaming on YouTube. He was showing off his preview of the Winter Wolf before he was going to submit it to the Mod Hub for testing. Bit of a debate kind of got started in the chat about beacon lights. You know, the kind of beacon lights you should put on the Winter Wolf, that type of thing. And the conversation moved to green beacon lights, and then I kind of suggested, well, what could we have like a beacon light with two different colors? You know, like green and orange in a single beacon light frame. You know, what was interesting to me that 82 Studio, he actually pulled out one of the in-game acid beacons, and I can kind of show you what he actually what he pulled up here. So there are base game acids in here, so we have the beacon lights, lizard. So if you open that up there, so there's beacon light 01. Okay, zoom in. So you have your glass, you have your orange glass, obviously. Okay, you can move that out of the way. So internally there is a reflector or a rotator. So this is the rotator part here, right? You can move that out there. So this is a kind of like a single color, right? So basically, what what 82 Studio tried to do was, basically he imported this beacon light into Blender. He painted one side of it green, right, and then he painted the other side yellow, right. So and then he obviously reloaded it into the game and that type of thing. But basically, he couldn't get it to work, right? The light, it would only emit one light, right, in the game. So I thought it was possible to be able to do it. You know what I mean? And I was kind of thinking of different ways, how could it be done? You know what I mean? So basically I contacted my games team about the problem. And I suggested to him Beacon Light 09 because of how Beacon Light 09 is designed specifically, So I can show you Beacon Light online here, right? So this is Beacon Light 09, right? So it looks like this. This is the clear glass version, right? So there is a reflector inside in here, right? So I can move the glass. Okay. Now we can move the glass, and there's a reflector, right? So what my games team done, right? So he imported Beacon Light 09 into Blender, right? And basically he cut it up, right? As you can see here, look, it's not complete. So you can see there are sections missing of this, right? So it was obviously a complete full circle, right? And these parts up here are where the orange, the flash, in game the orange flash. So these are the LED flashes here, these circles, right? So what my games team did was he chopped it up, right? So you have one part of it that has been set to orange, right? So it actually says they're orange. So it emits an orange light, okay? And then he has a second section then that he chopped up as well. And he set it to green, right? So here's the other section of that reflector, right? So, and that says green there. So you zoom in, obviously. So you can see where the other part of the reflector is here, look. See? So obviously, if I was to import this and kind of put the two of them together, right? See, look, it's a full complete circle now. Look, see that? So that's what my games team did. So he has set two individual elements or parts of the Beacon Light 09. One part has been set to green, and one part has been set to orange, right? So In order to get this to work in game, you need 2 separate XML files. You need a green one and you need an orange one, right? So here is the i3D, or the XML files here, right? So the Giants engine will not allow you to have 2 separate colors on a single beacon light using a single XML. The only way that this will work is if you have 2 XMLs. So you're basically cheating and fooling the engine into, you know, doing what you want to do, right? So if I launch the game, so I have the beacon light installed on the stair. Oh, copyright. So I need to enable, so basically I was testing this just as a single mod, right? Without nothing else loaded in, but I do need to enable Easy Development Console. No, what? Let's just load everything in. Let's just activate everything and see what happens. So yeah, so basically, there was another one of his testers called Farber Farming. He was streaming earlier tonight on YouTube, so I managed to shoot him a message, and basically I sent the zip file to 82 Studio, so he can look at it, he can test it himself, and I think that he might actually, you know, this kind of implementation that we have done, he might be able to take that idea and expand upon it, or do it in a different way, if that makes sense, right? So we have, I need to change my settings here because they're not correct. The time scale is off. This is a brand new game, Sev. Right, let me just fix this here. Right, now I need to enable F12, obviously. So we need to get into the night time, obviously, so we can actually test the light. So, as you can see there, my friends, we have now a working in-game beacon light that is emitting 2 different colors. One is yellow, and one is yellow. One is orange, and one is green. So the light here is actually flashing independently, right? So one is flashing orange, and one is flashing green, and the sequence is different. So you can actually see the 2 independent lights. Look at that! Look, that awesome. So and there are. So we get the smoke emitter thing again. So that requires that is from the exhaust extension. You can actually see, look. So look, it says info added exhaust extension particle system to nodes of steer, and then the error comes up underneath that. So it is the auto it's the exhaust extension that is generating that error. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that until the modder himself updates the exhaust extension mod. So what I'm interested in is the stair clean? That is my interest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of these tractors. We are going to get a fresh one. Where is the bloody thing? There we go. Right, we're going to get 2 configurations. We're going to get the one with so here's the beacon lights. So the way I have it set up here, we have left orange, right orange, both orange, left green, right green, both green, and then we have orange green and then green orange. So this is the new kind of option here, which is the multi both. So that's what I've called it there. We're going to get that. Now we're going to get another configuration with the cage, the forestry cage on it. And we're going to repeat the same process, because the stock and the forestry, you know, the position of the beacon lights are different, as you can see, look. So in the stock mode, they're down here. In the forestry mode, they're up here. So they, you know, they change position, basically. So I just want to test each individual one and make sure that they're working. So as I said, it appears we have a kind of a functional multi-light beacon light in game now. To my knowledge, now I could be wrong, but to my knowledge, there haven't been any multicolored beacon lights in a single frame. That's what I mean, as in like in a base game asset. So as far as I'm aware, this is the first implementation of this kind of idea. So as you can see there, it is flashing orange and it is flashing green. So we will get the other one and make sure that one is working as well. So I have sent the zip file to Mr. 82 Studio. I want him to take a look at it, and perhaps he can create his own implementation of this idea. Now, I do not know, for example, whether it would pass console testing, or whether Giants would even allow it, because you are tricking the engine. It's kind of a cheaty thing to trick the engine into doing something that it's not supposed to do. So just to be aware of that, So in terms of whether 82 Studio could submit this as a prefab or an update to one of his own pieces of, one of his own mods, I don't know. Giants may reject it because, as I say, it's using two separate XMLs to kind of cheat the engine into doing what we want to do, But yeah, as you can see, look, you can see there's clearly blinking orange and green. So that's kind of a first, at least as far as I'm aware, it's a first. As I said, I could be wrong. So it will actually emit different lights and that type of thing. So there you go. Let's just check the log again. So I reloaded the stair, as you can see. So that's the exhaust extension. So this is where we loaded in the stair. You can actually see it. So I have titled this Beacon Light Multi, right? So, and in order to get it into the to get it working in game, I had to kind of do a little XML jiggery pokery, that type of thing, to get it to load in. But yeah, there you go, look. And as you can see here, which is weird, look, now it says that exhaust extension has been loaded in successfully. See, that exhaust extension mod, it's just so inconsistent and random. As I said, I've had times where it loads in fine and it just doesn't generate an error. Then there are other times when it does, So as you can see there, look, when I bought a new vehicle, it loaded in the exhaust extension thing perfectly. I don't know. The original mod creator, he'll have to take a look at that and see what's causing that. So in the i3D file for the exhaust extension, there's a smoke emitter element to the i3D thing. So he's going to have to adjust that. So as I say, it uses a custom shader which requires reading depth data. So basically, the Giants engine wants him to use a base game shader, So he's using a custom shader. Giants engine wants him to use a base game shader. So it'll be PC and console compatible. Now, you know what? I don't know if exhaust extension is the exhaust extension, is it PC or not? EXHAUST. I know that this bloody search engine is just awful. Giants have absolutely one of the worst. Oh, it's for PC only. See, that's why. So basically, yeah, he's using a custom shader, and obviously, if you're on PC, having a custom shader it doesn't matter. So it's only really generating that error because it won't pass console testing. In terms of, for PC, it's absolutely fine. You can ignore that error. But it's been generated because, it's not for, it won't pass any console testing. Removed an error that occurred. I wonder, do I have this updated version of this mod? When was the last? 20th of July. Yeah, Vector Mountain is going to have to update this mod. Right, so there you go, my friends. This is kind of let's just say, a world premiere, a proof of concept, and a demonstration of an idea that I had, and it is working. We now have a single beacon light that emits 2 different colors at once. There is potential for this for more scope, more jiggery pokery. It is possible that you could have a single beacon light with 3, 4, 5 different colors. Like we could have orange, yellow, red, green, blue. I would assume that there is no limitation in terms of, except for example, the actual i3D file. So as I said, the beacon light here is being this beacon light 09. Right, it has little particles on it that are. See, can I get that there? I'm going to have to shut down the game. I think this is looking very, very dodgy. Let me just shut down the game here, because it is not liking this at all. Let me just turn this off. So yeah, so there are 2, 4, 6, 8. I don't know. There's like so what is that? Look, let me zoom out there. So there's 2, 4, 6. So there's 12 of these little square particle thingies. So these are what actually generates the light here. Look, they're little squares. See them on there. Look on the. So if I take off the glass here, and so here's the rotor here, which is kind of the important part. So there are these pieces here. See them there? Look. So these are the LED flash parts. So, and they're the ones. So what I think is possible, if you had 12 of them, you could potentially have a separate color for each one of these individual squares. So you could have 4 colors. 2 of them could be blue, 2 of them could be red, 2 green, 2 orange, or whatever colors you want. So I just think there is scope and a strong possibility that someone could create a custom beacon light, something that was designed in Blender from scratch. So let me show you the original beacon light 09. Stone Farmers, how are you, sir? How are things? Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I appreciate that. So if we go back to the shared folder here and the assets, and we have the beacon lights. So there's beacon light 09. So I'm going to send that to downloads folder here. We have beacon light 09. So this is the original before it was chopped up in Blender. So this is kind of what it looks like. This is the orange glass version, obviously. Right. So there's the glass. You can change the color of the glass. Let me just show you this quickly. So if you go down here, you have the what happened there? Where is the hold on a second. So what happened there? Let me reload that in again. So you have the orange glass, and it is here. You can go into the this part down here. You can actually adjust the RGB colors. So as you can see there, if I wanted to turn this green, right? It's for the for a green beacon light. So you basically just adjust the values here. Look, so if I turn it up, so these are red, green, blue, right? So you can adjust the slider to what color you want, and you can have different kind of effects. So if I turn it up that way, it kind of changes the intensity of the green, and that would kind of make it black. So there are There are all, that one is blue, obviously. So these are, as I said, RGB colors, right? So you can adjust the glass as you see fit and change the color of it. So my idea originally was, what I wanted to do here, I wanted to, so this rotator plastic here, what I was thinking of doing is stretching it out, right? Making it bigger. No, not that. That's the wrong value. Where is the so yeah, something like that, right? So making the the rotator taller, right? And in that way then you could add a second row of LED beacons to the rotor, But to do it properly, you would have to design it in Blender. I think 82 Studio could absolutely do that. He could create his own beacon light, or a version of Beacon Light online in Blender, and build it from scratch, and make it his own kind of thing. So my hope would be that 82 Studio, if he does decide to implement our idea or whatever, that he would make the beacon light or whatever that he creates as a license free or copyright free, and that he would excuse me, that he would make it as a prefab for the mod hub, right? So if it's a prefab for the mod hub, then that means any modder can use the beacon light. And that would be my hope for 82 Studio, that he would make it freely available for anyone. You know what I mean? Instead of just you know um, if I want, for example, if he made his own beacon light, I would have to contact him and get written permission. So I would hope that wouldn't be a thing, where he would make it copyright and license free, and just allow anybody to use his new kind of multicolored beacon light in any mod that they want. Anyway, that was the idea, and that's kind of the idea of the stream. And you know as I said, he can kind of use our idea for the beacon light that we've done here. Well, it was my games team who actually did this. I had the idea, but he actually implemented it in Blender. You know, because he obviously had to import this into Blender and cut out the individual pieces, that type of thing. And do all the XML scripting and whatnot, and made sure it worked. And it does, obviously. But yeah, my hope would be that this could be a very nifty little idea, or new kind of implementation of a beacon light that I think people, modders will be able to use quite effectively. And people going along will probably have more ideas and more thoughts how to maybe change it up or do something different with it, that type of thing. Anyways, my friends, I have now been waffling on for the last 23 minutes. I think that's quite enough. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. So once again, my friends, I'm going to say thank you all very much for tuning in, and hopefully, just as a side note, my games team has not put out the Stair 8165, the updated version 1.1. It's not out yet. He wanted to take a little bit more time to test it himself, because we have kind of a double blind thing going on. You know, I test something, then he tests this. So when you have two people testing, it's always possible that I have missed something in my testing process. It's always possible. So when I send him the file, he does his own independent testing, and that's what's currently going on. So the Stair 1.1 of the Stair is not out yet, and I'm not quite sure when it will, but it certainly will be before Christmas. But yeah, it's not quite out yet. But be patient, my friends. It's coming. It's coming. All right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you all very much. Take care. Bye bye.